Ancient, and that's why both teams like to pick it in best of threes.
We just consider what we're talking about with the last two maps and how they were picked in by their respective sides, and we're just talking about a map up or a map up that might not necessarily matter with those records in terms of differences and their positions overall. Like, again, I just feel like there were so many moments where players had such great matches over on Dust 2 and over on Vertigo that it might just come down to individuals and team performances for me. We'll find out exactly what it will come down to as we get started. Pistol round, Spirit on the CT side, Cloud9 quick in with their Glocks and a P250 Raid Boss for Shiro out towards Cave. The crossfire is locked. Will Wonderful get checked here? Apparently not. He gets a kill alongside Magic's double, and it's a 5-on-2 already.
And that crossfire just being lethal down there in the cave entrance. And now even the T's continuing to cross out as Magix finds all four. And a lovely start there from Spirit to get themselves on the board with a 1-0 start.
That was some crispy shots. Crispy sequence in general for him. 4 kills to kick things off, and Magic's own part. One of the other guys probably have our eyes on for the most part here on the Spirit side. Cloud9 receiving his wrath and forced down to an eco or a force buy.
Well, considering the idea that he's the second highest rated player in this entire RMR, we haven't seen the Beast in huge detail in map 1 and map 2, and I've got a funny feeling that we might just see him unleashed come in map 3.
Locks in for the Cloud9 camp. Nothing major being seen this early. Seeing the guns out, the rifles in for round 3. So a formality round again for the Spirit camp. SMG for Chopper. Focusing fire against that B-doors position. We'll get flashed off, so it's not going to be quite as easy to get those kills. Patsi might be a little bit easier, unaffected by that utility. SMGs versus pistols, and the SMG crossfire just farms up the cash here between those two individuals. 2 left, 1 left. Hobbit, dead.
And you'd have to imagine, knowing that it is a head-to-head between Spirit and Cloud9, you're expecting Ancient in some degree, whether it be a map pick of either one of these squads, whether it even be a decider of a best of 3. So they would have done as much preparation as possible. And even, it's wild to imagine that we have not seen a head-to-head between these two teams in 500 days, considering they were both at RRB in Antwerp, they both in the same group in Cologne, they both played a Pro League, they were in different groups, but there's a lot of events that both of these teams play, they just aren't meeting one another.
2 ships passing in the night. Coming close, but never truly meeting. Hobbit's met Patsi out there towards elbow, and the engagement just forced both players back. Meanwhile, made in towards lane. Chopper getting given a gift at the flashbang forward of Siren. Axile caught, but Inter's forced to trade it. Patsi next up the task and does a ton of damage. These SMGs are doing work for Spirit, but they lose the man advantage anyway.
Wonderful's got a HE, which could be highly useful in the late round, but you could just see the intent. Siren could be the 3rd player to swing out wide to the top of lane.
The flash in from Magix, trying to provide support in from ramp rather than lane itself. Siren is leaning forward. Magix, dry face on Inters, gets it back to an even man standing, unawares of where Shiro is. Pixel's poking out, now he's been spotted. Magix is locked on for this map, it seems. Siren now looking for nafany, and there goes the kill. Hobbit stands alone again.
Just knowing that he was the lurk outside of elbow, has to come into the fold to try and recover a 1v3. The bomb is still dropped outside of the open B doors. And with players all around, the aggression continuing, there should be no way out here for Hobbit.
Siren's at least caught, that's 1 pick. Not the first 1v3 the Hobbit has won so far in this map up, or in this series I should say. Grabs that bomb, going for the rotate towards there, so I don't think he'll have time for this.
It's going to be low. Try and get over there quickly. Has to get it down pretty much instantly, and for Spirit, they're still holding together out on B.
Yeah, Hobbit's not going to make it. This is way too far away.
Hang on.
No, no way. No chance.
Oh, 1 second off. That was close.
It's a bit of a big second, honestly. He acted a little bit quicker. Maybe it would have been a bomb plant, but not on this particular occasion. 3-0 for the Spirit start. And we mentioned for Cloud9, one of the key things that got them going over on Dust 2 was their solid start, was getting that pistol in conversions. Yes, losing the rifles and nearly getting evened up. Ultimately turning their way when the rifles truly got together. So the fact that they've lost the pistol, the fact they've lost the conversions and the first gun round, leaves them on a half buy with a saved AK for free. No money for Hobbit, of course. And a chance of Spirit to extend even further if they can take it.
Remember how solid Spirit were at the major when it came to Ancient, taking the likes of Furia, Copenhagen Flame, Flames and Astralis down with massive one-sided score lines. There's always been a map to their tail. One of the maps that they enjoy playing a massive amount. But so do Cloud9, and with a 9-map winning streak on Ancient, which spans months, you've got to imagine that they're here to try and make it 10.
Smoke set onto position at elbow. Inters looking for that P250. Chopper has seen nafany. Drives him back for the time being.
Cloud9 just trying to get as much out of this AK as possible. Got to consider the fact of the upgrades around it and what the likelihood is of this damage. This vertical crossfire is strong though.
M4 engages. Magix and Chopper get them both. Nice and effective. Hobbit and nafany down. AK dropped out and in the open for this round, so they can't get it back here. Shera will try, but he'll fall victim to Chopper. He might drop the AK a little bit deeper into position. Inters actually puts it up a little bit deeper into the triangle rather than cave. Axal's Deagle strikes back towards mid. That's one back. A lot more to gain. That's a sight now.
This is winnable. This is very doable for Cloud9. You've got a 2v3 with 2 weapons picked up, both with armor and a bomb plant. I'm liking the look of this.
Axal and Inters need to play this to perfection, but it doesn't help Spirit the fact that they're being so tentative around this, unsure of exactly where that second player is. Inters cut them off from the mid control, waiting for footsteps. Hearing wonderful and will hear Magix as well. Molotov sent far. Inters a little bit too close. Will he swing? Yes, he will. Get them both with the transfer as well. And just like that, it all falls apart for Spirit. Chopper trying to back his teammates up in mid. Might get this pick back onto Inters, but in a 1v1 against Axal, he hasn't got time to get to the bomb. Cloud9 steal the round.
Axal just trying to put the hurt on with his last engagement. Chopper trying to get as much out of this as possible, but not to be. What a round, what a steal. And this is where we start mimicking some patterns, some parallels to think back to Dust 2. There were a few rounds where you thought there from Spirit, it should not be losable, like that 3v1 against Hobbit. Now I'm looking at that round thinking, yes, there's a hero AK, but it's the pistols that do the majority of the damage. It's Axal and Inters to somehow recover a round that should not be losable.
That's the start that Cloud9 needed. An unlikely one at that. We've seen some seriously unlikely rounds from this team so far today. Spirit forced to take a tactical first and foremost, and they've been pretty liberal with using those on both sides. Chance to figure things out with another force buy on the table for them. Eco steal for Cloud9 has many more ramifications than just the round itself. SMG, 5.7s. It's a broken investment from Spirit, even though they put all of it inside.
And this is definitely one of those swing rounds. Both teams very limited with the loss bonus and the economy flow. Siren aggressive to try and fight up against the A-Rush, and it's so quick for Cloud9. They're already overpowering. Yeah,
true rush in that sense. Not even utility thrown down until they get into the site itself. Smokes onto the donut position. Of course, the other lane picked up. Bomb plant secured. Smokes at Temple. Now it's a press. They have seen the SMG, and Inter's going to try and isolate him. He does escape. The chopper out of there. 5-on-4, and Spirit looking like they're going to back away and just save these weapons for the next round.
What an excellent call that is, coming through from nafany, to realize the fact we've just won our first. It was a steal. We know that they're going to be limited on the buy, so they probably won't have anti-rush nades. Let's hit them hard, fast, and look at what they find.
Still trying to go for this. Actually, wait on a second. Patsi wonderful and Chopper have found their way back in. Hobbit's overwhelmed, and the last man's so far away, they haven't got a kit, so I don't think they'll have time for the defuse, or do they? No, they have. Yeah. Wonderful did have one. Okay. What the hell just happened there?
Well, Cloud9 got caught sleeping, and so did I. I thought that round was done. Looked as if they'd been locked out of the bomb site, that Spirit were just going to opt to go for the save, and it got a little bit complacent there. The post-planting position weren't ideal for Cloud9 because they just expected a save, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's a super late call to go in for the retake. That is massively risky, and it pays off big time for Spirit.
It left Cloud9 back into this game. Had they lost all those weapons and gone for the harsher eco. And now they're back in with 3 AKs and a free kill on Hobbit. Patsi just spraying through against that smoke. Chopper fun in the final with a Molotov out towards lane. Cloud9 capitulating here.
They're just sharing some of those wild details that can come through in a CIS derby. Who would have seen that coming? And look at the ramifications. A 5-on-3, 30 seconds into the next round. And Cloud9 That looked like it was a lob. Like a perfect opportunity to start turning 2, 3, 4 rounds in a row. You equalize the scoreline. It's a different game.
Caught so flat-footed, and I feel like that round put Cloud9 on a bit of a semi-permanent back foot from here on out. The bomb plant bonus at least gets the guns in for them with the saved money from the previous. On to get counter reset by the Spirit side as they try and work their way into the B play. 3 players total on the receiver for Spirit. Magix will be the first man. He gets his kill. Inters dropped next by Chopper. Shiro 1 on 5.
Magix has been rock solid out there at B. Anytime it's been a prod into cave, a walk setup going through to ramp, he's been there to just do lockout damage. And Chopper's just trying to search for information, try and bait Shiro out to the open. 5-1 is the scoreline as the marker. Try and see if they can get Spirit in with a one-sided lead. Now, we saw Ancient being played from Cloud9 only a few days ago when they took on B8 in the opening best of 1. 9 rounds on T side was the first half from them. They went into the second half and didn't drop a single round in that CIS derby.
Ball to the good for Spirit now. Sending it to fire when Cloud9 take the pistols out of the half invest. Siren clotheslines nafany. Moves him from playing instant towards that mid control.
Cloud9 being pressured from all accounts. I'm liking this pressure on the overpeaks coming through from Spirit. Now, it's not always. It seems to be the early shift in the round. They want to get up close and personal, take members down early, and then fall back defensively to bomb sites. And if you're Spirit, you are trying to keep as many of these AKs alive for as long as possible. You don't want to take too many risk fights in a round like this, because the last thing you want is to feed yourself to an eco and lose all of that potential in the rifle rounds.
Cloud9 will try and work around the deco here. Not doing any damage thus far here in this round. The basis falling back. Axon and Shiro. Where do they go with this? In towards cave. Safe to receive it. Vertical crossfire. Kill found effective against Axel. Shiro bombing his back. Giving up shoulder base for information. Does find that first shot. Magix known to be in a very awkward angle to hit on the headshot itself. Shiro will try hunt for the man, but just not aiming high enough here.
The Spirit have been liking these vertical crossfires, but Magix is always thinking to himself, well, I've lost my teammate there at Chopper. Let's get into the side, put the incendiary down, try and slow down the reaction.
Hobbit's been tagged. Magix backs off. Flashes in for Hobbit to try storm the site. 15 seconds, wonderful. Stands up towards long. Flashed in by his teammate. Hobbit dead. He just gets 1 kill, but Shiro responded towards and Inters will not last long himself. No bomb plant for Cloud9 on this day. 6-1 to the board.
Spirit going to be very happy with what they've been able to achieve when it comes to this early start, just keeping that tempo forward. You start wondering with the track records, who's got the better one here of Ancient. First tactical coming through from Cloud9. A little bit late, would you agree, Jane?
To a certain extent, yes. Just because it's still possible to bring this back to a decent scoreline from this position, but obviously I would have liked to have seen it off the back of maybe that eco steal or much earlier position from Cloud9 when just to mentally reset and reform themselves. It is on T side as well, and we know that Cloud9 over the 7 maps they've won this year on Ancient. They've been able to have such great CT halves, so anything that's decent on T half might be enough for them.
Yeah, when we're talking about decent, we're not talking about 114 though. I think definitely in the ballpark of 6 or 7 rounds is going to be the minimum where Cloud9 are looking themselves on, and they've just got to try and keep it competitive from the start. Spirit have gained complete control, been very dominant, very much on the front foot, and very positive.
Like there is no context where 114 is considered a decent half.
Well, you didn't bring it forward, mate. I was waiting for a number.
I thought that would be a given, but you know, given for Chopper to find nafany to kick things off. Straight from spam through the smoke. Kills found. Hobbit got tagged up pretty heavily over towards elbow. He himself is also pretty low. Spirit on the front foot here.
And you could just see, even for Cloud9, how disciplined and how retreated they have been in some of these situations. Gaining map control towards lane's been difficult. They're stuck behind the B doors as of right now. You've got Magic's quite aggressive in there with Chopper, just crossfiring the cave.
Set on as Chopper. Trying to get more blind kills, but so far so unsuccessful. Just that one, as Wonderful is set up, ready to receive the oncoming onslaught of Cloud9. Only 3 out of 4 players out here. Hobbit's playing alert with AHP over towards the A site. Inters will drop. 30 seconds. They're going to go for a rotation. It's going to have to happen right now. Axile does find Chopper out towards Cheetah. That's something gained. Hobbit now starting to add towards the A place. So yes, they will go for the rotate.
It's whether Hobbit can continue to aggress, though, try and get himself into spawn. The only concern with him making such a high-tempo move is the fact that he's low on HP. He's down there at 8.
Got to take some sort of risk to get the man advantage back, though. No one's going to check Temple either, and actually Hobbit's going to get the kill for it. Backs away, does get picked up by Patsi, so it's on his teammates to hold the post plant.
You've got Axile trying to get up to that tree position. Shiro with the AWP out in Donut. Haven't seen much from him. This is his chance to return.
Doesn't know whether they're going to have any presence in the mid control, though. All 3 are inbound from CT, but Cloud9 don't know that yet. Shiro watching and waiting. Utility inbound with the smokes being sent down. I think that's a donut smoke as well, so AWP will not see much. Axile with a lot of work to do, at least to stall the time at AWP. Seen and sprayed. That's 1 to a 2-on-2. They line up for the AK, but it's turned back on the bomb. They've got to go. No scope from Shiro. Going to make his way in. Magix is on it. Oh my god! He hit them both! Didn't even click the right mouse button. That's all you need!
Somehow that's actually come through. There's no way that's a 1v2 clutch that's successful. Can you believe it? Spirit did so much right. They smoke off Donut. They get onto the bomb. They try and draw Shiro out to the open, and instead, this is what happened. You could not be any more unfortunate.
He's not even playing for the game anymore. He wants his highlight. He just got it as well. Only the second round for Cloud9 here. If you want a confidence booster, that is it. But the concern turns to the follow-up now. 4 rounds to make up for the T side here.
And Shiro knows that's the only way he wins that round. If he runs through that smoke, he's a goner. As soon as he peers through that utility, they're going to be watching him. They've got even the bait set up. Get onto the bomb, have a player out in front. If you get legged, it will be the first player to drop, not you. Unreal. In such an important game too, and that could be the Kickstarter of the T side for Cloud9.
Tag up on Hobbit very early here. Siren swings and does get the return frag to the advantage, and the double up against nafany. Maybe it's not the return for Cloud9. 5-on-3, Axile's hunting them. Doesn't get forced back in mid.
Fair play to Spirit. They lose that round, they take a tactical, they come into the next, and it's just fresh again. 5-on-3 instantly. Patsi with an off angle out towards Donut. Does overextend himself for a moment, so there is at least a pick back.
4-on-3 for the Spirit side. Still holds the advantage, though. Spreading their forces pretty thin and passive across the back lines here. Back of B, back of A. One man pressing forward to the A side. Axile might be in trouble here. 16 HP. Siren is actually going to get his head taken clean off. We'll find the bomb at least, indicate they're over towards the A side. They don't know how many.
And this is flashbacks to the last round of holding the advantage, but still not coming out on top. This has been a great return from Axile with a couple of kills, and now the prod comes through towards A. The split's going to come in. Wonderful has to try and hold and drop the bomb.
Spray up, Axile, forcing Wonderful back. Shot does not connect to anything, blinded by the flashes. At least there's one in against Inters. 3-on-2. Cloud9 on the side. Need that bomb to go down. Chopper isolated by Shiro. But takes a ton of damage to get it back to an even standing. Warp of Wonderful. Magic's for Mars leans in. Axile isn't going to check it entirely. He looks back at the right timing. Triple up with the headshot, and Wonderful now left a clutch of his own right. Another AWP against 2. Is it going to be a stylistic? Will it be successful? Looking for Axile. Doesn't see him. Shiro holds his nerve, and Wonderful holds to back off.
And you look at that round and think to yourself, did Patsi need to make that? You are playing in front of Donut, not behind it, not behind cover, but out in the open after a 5-on-3. They granted themselves so much, and I feel for Siren, because he was the one that set that round up, and his team have just overextended. They've come away with peaking aggressively in Donut, and then why is there even a walk forward in A main? That's an unnecessary maneuver to get called out, and Axel capitalizes on both of them. And these are 2 rounds now for Spirit where they're follow-ons from Dust 2, where they've had advantages and they've thrown it away.
One more back for Cloud9 here in this case. It was a little bit pressured. Now pressure applied to Spirit here with these USPs brought out. The AWP of Wonderful. The only thing that they can really gain out of this one, save from the previous round, Cloud9. Pressure against him with damage being done. Swing forward with a shot. There's Axel. The drop enters with a responsive chopper. Abuses the damage though. Gets his shot onto the 4-on-3. Shiro has got to respond. Got to get 2 here, and that's exactly what he does. One more man in the back line to deal with. Patsi catches one off guard, but the AK firepower is just so much more better for the Cloud9 side.
Now this backstab could be a potential if it gets timed correctly. Shiro overextending towards long, putting that pressure back down onto Patsi, and now for Siren, he's got no support, no one to set up a crossfire for him.
Well, the backstab's inbound. I think they've got a suspicion at least. AK's picked up by Siren. It does get Shiro, so damage has been done to Cloud9, but without Kevlar, kit, or utility, it looks like it's just best to hold on to this rifle.
You've got to imagine so, and consider the idea that Spirit were looking... You'd imagine double digits at the minimum, at the absolute minimum in this first half. And now you start considering the fact that we could actually have quite a competitive scoreline to end it.
Stomp after stomp, and now we go back to the back and forth affair. But the question is, who's going to be more competitive? Too early to make that decision, make that call right now. Cloud9 have been on the back foot for most of this entire map up, and now we'll have a chance to once again equalize against Spirit. Of course, guns in for the next round. That will be leading to an eco, which is where they can make it up to 6-6. For now, the deficit shrinks 2 rounds to the good.
And this is where you've got to imagine for Spirit, we're only going to see more out of guys like Patsi and hopefully Wonderful with the big green. Try and get as much out of that round with, of course, that AWP in play. Cloud9 trying to minimize the distance. Just get themselves into a driving position to come back come the second half. You've got to wonder what is involved in this streak here for Cloud9.
So far, it's just been them taking control of the situation, facing some resistance from Spirit at certain points. AWP is no longer available, but Magix is, and he finds Inters to pick up the start down towards ramp. Drop 1, fall back as well.
Now that's where Magix has been the most successful, is when he's getting aggressive, when he's getting up close and personal down there to the B doors, and he's done it again. Dip in there quickly, but it could just be a contact.
Watching AK and nafany leading the charge in. Being spotted by only the CTs. Wonderful tries to engage. This is a trade back from Magix very quickly. Molotov sent in towards Cave that should keep him at bay as his teammate. Got one man out towards mid that might hunt for a quick lurk. Bomb will go down, however, on the B site. So it's up to Shiro and on Hobbit to try and hold the defense.
This looks promising. That mid lurk could be very deadly, and they know that there's Cave presence. Shiro's just looking for the response with the AWP deep.
Seeing the one, but the quick cross was a little bit too quick to take the shot back. Smokes tries to press them back from the back lines. They're going to need Axel relatively soon here. 2 players moving in. Flanks are being watched. They're being a bit slow about it, but looking for those wall bangs regardless. Hobbit took some damage. Shiro's AWP locks on. Doesn't connect the shot though. Hobbit with a trade. Shiro gets involved alongside Axel, finally closing in the pincers. Siren's alone in 1-on-2. Will get at least 2 kills to make it expensive again for Cloud9, but it won't be around successful for Spirit here. It's 5 to the board of the T side.
I gotta be honest, I'm not massively fond of these late retake scenarios coming through from Spirit. I think in that sort of state, it would have been nicer to put some quickness into the meta. Yes, we saw that one round of the super late retake coming down to A being successful, but you've got to consider how many times is that a likelihood? How many times is the late retake going to come through with a round victory? There for Cloud9, there was too much respect being given. It allowed Shiro to get very comfortable with the AWP in the backlines. It allows Axile to read the play that no one's going to come through from lane. So everyone could just focus their attention to the cave entrance and, of course, what's going down towards the back of City Spawn.
Cloud9 now within that margin of comeback here for the CT side. One more round to make it, I think, the most winnable half, or the most realistically winnable half for a T half.
And I reckon they'll get even more than that.
There's a high possibility of that with the SMGs in for Spirit here in round 12. The AWP saved in. I mentioned that before, the potential of the eco. Thank God it was a rifle that stayed up. Siren giving the AK enough cash in the bank to afford the rest of it. But the firepower is so staunch here for Cloud9. And finally going to try to use that here against Chopper. Or is he? Sneak past those smokes. Patsi going to get the opening kill. And finally we'll cut him back at the rotation and make it a 4-on-4. But Chopper's still looking to try punish here as the smoke starts to fade.
The Chopper knew that he couldn't get aggressive there. That volley comes out. He's going to have to start peeking round the corner with the MP9, but he's trapped. This HE is going to do him.
No, it won't. It sails too far, and Siren swings in from mid, knowing exactly where Shiro is. Axile now moving up. Wonderful's AWP rate to cut them off at the site. No smokes to go down to this position. The flashbang punches from blinded, but it's a dry face from Axile doing his damage, forcing him back. Siren gets the kill, however. It's Inters alone to clutch this, and peeking into Wonderful does force that AWP to make a mistake. Might find a gap in defense to make his way through CT, but he's going to stand and fight against Magix and against Siren, but Siren gets the triple, and Spirit defend the lead.
Well, I'm very surprised that Chopper somehow stayed alive in that one. I think it was a very good reaction there from Spirit of Chaos. The idea that you've got your first individual with that MP9 going very aggressive with Patsi, you then have Chopper doing the exact same thing, and then look at how even Siren's able to get into the mix. They realize, okay, this HG's come forward, Chopper's not dead, there's an individual towards elbow, there's just MP9s fighting everywhere towards mid in that round for Spirit.
Got pistols pulled out on Cloud9 as a result of that lockout round. No bomb plant bonus, and the economy was balanced on the edge of a knife. It's finally slipped and sliced right down the middle. No cash available. See what they can do with these upgrades at least. The Eagles, P250s. Not a lot here.
No, it isn't. And are you getting a vibe of any sort of still? Because remember, we've seen a couple over the course of the series.
You just had to go and say it, didn't you?
Mate, I was asking about the vibe, and the vibe's telling me some good stuff.
Hobbit's telling you some good stuff, I'll give you that. He's got the vibe. Are there vibes in Malta at the moment? Are there Malta vibes, I guess you could say. Cloud9 setting up for the hit here. Going to try and see if they can put those pistols to effect and try to overtake the A site. It's only Siren to defend.
And it's about this initial contact. Siren needs a multi-frag, needs to stay alive, needs to get rotates over quickly.
Smokes on, counter flash, back up is quickly arriving in Chopper. One isolated duel against nafany, incendiary thrown immediately to block them off. But a counter action of the Molotov for Cloud9 doesn't even land towards Siren. It's very close. That HE misses the majority of the damage. It sailed too high, bounced off the wall, and now they'll try and make their way in. Get that bomb down if possible. They're just looking for the money bonus. But Hobbit's cleaned up. Siren's focusing. Inters dropped to Chopper. Up close and personal for Axile, and he can't make much happen. So there are no vibes today, Dweg. It's 8-5 with the half for Spirit.
That was very well played from the young man there of Siren. Yes, the util was slightly off with that HE, but he doesn't overextend himself, and he repositions just ever so slightly. He makes sure that there's not a bomb plant, because I think that's where the round starts getting really scary, is if Cloud9 are able to get a bomb plant in, they're able to maybe get a kill and recover one of those weapons, but instead he plays it quite cautiously, quite passive on the back line. 8-5, Spirit have still got leverage to get double digits.
Guns are back in for Hobbit this time, though. One of 3 AKs for Cloud9, trying to engage the early defaults and try and find the first pick onto Team Spirit. 2 Galils, again, limited on the money state for Cloud9. No bomb plant was picked up in that previous round, leaving them exactly where they stand at the moment. Spirit happy to play passive, happy to play careful, as are Cloud9.
And Chopper's hoping for a slight little tingle of information, a footstep to come close to him to the top of lane and into that cave entrance. You can see Cloud9 acting with the util towards mid. Wonderful's aggressive with the orb.
Standing shot misses, though. Finally leaning against Chopper, he ducked down. He's baited in the spray, at the very least has the info there to him, alongside Shiro, who makes their way in for the kills. They don't even need the crossfire. Nafany picks up Chopper pretty easily. Magic's there with 2 to gain, only gets one of them. Wonderful. Out towards mid, it's the orb strike, and Patsi turns on for 1, and back towards ramp for 2.
Just when it looked like Cloud9 had been able to find a weakness, a hole through into that B side, they get that entry down onto Chopper towards that cheater and cave position, and then it's just the multi-frag. It's Wonderful responding with the orb. It's Magic's doing well in from cave. It's Patsi on the swing to bail him out of trouble. And Axel's best bet is to hold on to the AK, save it into the next round. This should be 9 up for Spirit.
Best thing Axel can do is save. Anything else would be a pipe dream at best. Right by those double digits here for the Spirit side. They are within touching distance of getting a 10-5 half. For Cloud9, it does mean that it's a little bit less doable than what 9-6 looked like, but I still think they're within the margins here.
And we knew that Spirit had a little bit of an easier opportunity to get into the major last time around. And they took on Anonymo in the 5th round of Swiss at the RMR. Now, of course, they went through from B&E when we think about the game only yesterday. But now this is the game to make Legend Stage. And to force it all the way to a 3rd map, to have a good scoreline at 9-5 on the city side. And looking at the money state, looking at the buy, this should be 10-5.
Force invest these pistols mostly here for Cloud9. AK of Axar, scout in Vishiro. Patsi, yes, they're putting incendiary down ahead of the smokes. Trying to find Hobbit, thinking he might be out into his elbow. He suffered a lot towards the jewels. The early takes in from Spirit, and he'll suffer again for Patsi and Siren. Wonderful. His orb shot misses. Axel's opened up the A site.
And now the pressure starts building. Siren's got to make a decision whether he decides to fight out from Donut. He drops that bomb, but he also takes a lot of damage in the response.
Very difficult with the only AK being the bomb carrier here. They'll try to put it down, safe from the Donut position. Magics can't see them. It's a man advantage for Spirit on the retake, doubling up against Nafany.
Yeah, this should be it. This should be closing time. Shiro and Inters have nothing to work with. Shiro's going to think about taking some map control away.
Shot on to Patsi, damage being done. Inters took some more in return, looking for the next player back. Now going to taunt to his teammate to look towards Temple. Shiro engages Siren, doing damage. Not quite the kill being found just yet. That flashbang's pretty good. Shiro sprayed through. Chopper overwhelmed. Magic gets the trade back onto the smoke to the bomb. Here they come. Nades up. Shiro tries to stand, but Patsi gets the kill. They're on the defuse just in time with the kit, and indeed, it is a 10-5 half on the CT side for Team Spirit.
And Spirit have got to be well happy with themselves, positioning in a driving angle to now go into the second half and to take it 10-5. It's 6 more rounds. It's whether they can close it after the break.
10-5 up for Spirit going into their T side, their CT side, as much as they could do given the circumstances. 5 for Cloud9 might indicate a better CT half of their own right, Dwayne. But the successes might not stop there for the Spirit side. What do you got for me?
Well, think about the third Swiss game. Up against Gamer Legion in the best of one for Spirit at this RMR. They were down 4-11 on the CT side and managed 11 rounds in the entire half of their T bases to force it into overtime. We know Spirit have got a good T side. We know they've got a good T side of Ancients.
You know that Cloud9 are on the back foot as well. Julie's out on the pistol round. If there's one major condition I'd say they have to sort of start with to get the comeback, it would be to win this pistol. Spirit inbound for the execution. Missed body block on that smoke from nafany does not generate a gap. It generates somewhat of one, but a little bit too high, so he can't abuse it from his position without a boost up itself. Shiro now in with the Julies. Inters will play backup dancer as the Turley strike comes in. Wonderful will go down. Inters is detected by Chopper though, so he goes falling in his place. Shiro knows that play was so close. Can get the triple for the lineups. The bomb could be denied by Shiro. On for the ace against Patsi and all. Backstabs rolling in. The backup has arrived. There's a 1-on-3 for this lone T-side player. Bomb dropped at all. Axile will be there to finish the job, but Patsi puts him back out of commission.
This is still very workable for Patsi. Plenty of time left on the clock, and he wants to try and see if he can draw a mistake. Get one of these CTs out into the open, but look at Shiro and nafany. They're just playing off one another. They know we compete together as a unit.
Bomb directly at the entrance of cave. Patsi trailing forward to grab it with the crossfire, so tightly knit, and Patsi does not know exactly where it's from. He's grabbed that bomb, and nafany doesn't quite see it from his position. Is Patsi going to go for an A rotation here? That might be his best call.
You'd imagine so. 30 seconds left on the clock. This could be a great opportunity of getting that bomb plant, having the security of the extra money cash injection. And for Shiro and nafany, they're going to have to be quick over. Now, there is still a flash and a kit, so they've got plenty of advantages to work with on the retake.
I honestly thought that crossfire had the bomb in their sights. The fact that it didn't means that now retake mode is on and Patsi knows they must be coming in from the B side. He gets towards the corner in time. No, got to stand and fight against nafany. Headshot gain. Shiro's low HP. Patsi in a one-on-one. Shiro needs the headshot, and he gets it together to make it the ace and the all-important pistol for Cloud9.
Oh, so close. So damn close there for Patsi. And Shiro's done it again. He has been a monster in some of these clutches, considering the fact that he's on 2 points of health to end out that round. The ace comes through successfully. But look at Spirit. They got 4 kills. They got a bomb plant. You've got to imagine Khalil's. Force it up. Put that pressure on immediately.
Shut down this comeback before it really gets started. Be the name of the game here for the Spirit squad. You're right. Galil's in. AK. Deagle in for Wonderful. I don't think there's a weapon drop for him in spawn. No. Just a hand cannon.
Get the maximum bonus out of a round like this. Aggressive approach for Cloud9 to try and gain that mid control. And look at it from the outer counterpoint. You've got Spirit in with the buy, trying to get those rifles forward. You had Shiro getting an ace. What's he going to do round 17 up against the Forcible? Buy Big Green.
Only damage done to Magix and Chopper with the H he's put down towards lane. SMG backing off on nafany. Waiting on the B site with Inters is FAMAS set and ready. Spray through. Damage done to Chopper continues to compound. Cloud9 have yet to get a kill, even though they're getting closer and closer.
This utility damage is just starting to spiral. The last thing that you want for Spirit is to be down before even a jewel can get taken with this force up. And you've got a slight over-rotation coming through with Shiro on that orb, getting a gut feeling that it's going to be an A-lane.
Hobbit blind sprays reading Patsi so well. Turn fire doing the turning down to 15 HP. Loses that gap against Wonderful, who also takes down damage. 4 players on Spirit have, actually all 5 for that matter, have taken damage. Cloud9 be happy with that because it gives them a slight boost going into the defensive. 35 seconds for Team Spirit to hit A.
You can see the way that Cloud9 are trying to crunch down on any opening and deep control to come through from the Candles position. Axel can keep the attention look towards A main.
In. Tag damage done. There's Chopper. First casualty. The AWP focuses on main. Axel's SMG focused on flat. Swing forward of Patsi. There comes the kill to drop the bomb. And the shots continue to come in for the CT side. Wonderful now. 1-on-3 situation. Bomb should get picked up. They'll try and get it planted. AWP not detecting him. Wonderful. Just can't do anything from here. Caught off. Spray down. Does die during time. But it will be around for Cloud9 nonetheless.
And that's an excellent reaction there from Cloud9. The basis on where they consider themselves stacking up, you've got Axile looking towards A main, you've got Shiro that comes out of Temple, looks straight into Donut, and that's enough. That's enough of an information to realize exactly what's going on. And you could just feel there for Spirit that eventually when they're in a position where they can think about getting the bomb plant or start taking some fights, the CTs are just all over. The rotates are just too quick.
Pistols pulled out for Spirit on a harsh eco. Axile's about to receive the entire main T-side force. Nades on, smokes down, here they come. Eco rush tactics. Axile able to hold the defensive for the most part. Hobbit provides a bit of support, but Axile will still fall. It's 1-4 that Magix will try and hold on to, or at least do some damage with. Indeed, he goes down to nafany. And that Galil should hopefully trade up to the M4. Indeed, it does. So, pistol conversions won by Cloud9. The guns are out for Spirit now with their first chance to put one on the board in this half.
And just knowing that Axile and Shiro are playing to such a high level in this map is going to be concerning for Spirit, and it means that you're going to have to look at someone like Chopper and say, okay, what do we need to do differently? How can we underutilize someone like Shiro? Does it come down to more utility? Does it come down to pace? Does it come down to patience? So that's something that they're going to have to try and work together on what they need to do, because if you give the respect to someone like Shiro on this sort of form, going into what is only a 2-round differential to tie up the scoreline, you're going to receive a lot of hurt, and that's going to be Cloud9 pushing further forward in this final map of the series.
Tactical has been used by them. Their second one in this matchup. Been playing from the back foot for so long that many would be surprised that they haven't used more. In fact, it's actually Spirit that have used 3 so far. They know how their CT half could have gone so many different ways than a 10-5. We'll hold something together for the T half now. Cloud9. Up against no AWPs from the Spirit side. Default standard stuff, it seems.
It's not often in the round streak that Cloud9 have when it comes to some of their Vertigo maps, and when it comes to some of their ancient ones as well, that it comes down to this sort of differential. Start thinking to yourself, when are they going to be able to respond from the Spirit point of view? Keep that lead. Axile spotting for information, looking down towards A main. Has not seen anything just yet. There are a couple of lurkers of Siren and Wonderful.
Molotov sent to them in control. No one's really reacting to it though on the CT side. They've got one player behind the smokes. Axile's closest to contact here against the T's. Walking out from A main, seen with the spray, lines up, but only gets the one frag. Wonderful with a responsive. And A's pretty open for it here. The bomb's yet to commit.
It's a lack of information from Spirit, though. Even Hobbit starting to look through from candles, catch off magics. Now, the bomb is still outside of this elbow position, quite deep in the T spawn. So Spirit are going to have to try and get Chopper over to it. It means that the bomb is going to take forever to go down on A.
We're talking about execution by 25 seconds or so. Slow walking as well. We're going to stall that even longer. Wonderful. And Patsi wait for the overextension. Nafany gets caught off out towards Temple. Molotov sent. Boost up for Chopper to get himself into the site without taking a challenge. Behind the boxes will get the plant. It will be a retake for Cloud9 here. Man advantage reduced as well in a 3-on-3, but still they'll flash their way in. Chopper caught by it. Hobbit looks at the site, gets his kill. One man at main, one man at donut. Counter smokes in the main. I think Wonderful just got spotted right there. Big gaps to abuse for the CT side as Hobbit doubles up, and now Patsi dealt with by Shiro.
And normally you'd be quite critical with a miss smoke like that. Oh, you can't be leaving a big gap. You're going to get exposed. It actually works out right for them because you can see the way that Hobbit is immediately onto the tell. There's a gap. I'm holding this right-hand side. Wonderful peeks into it. And for Spirit, it comes down in that situation for making a very smart read to get that boost up towards tree, to get the bomb down. But notice the way there's not a massive amount of space being taken on that post plant. They're not aggressing Temple. They're not taking back some of that donut control. And instead, they're being forced out into the open. And Cloud9 have got so much util on that retake. The smokes go down. And Spirit just know we have to fight. We have to be forced out into the open.
Nades on towards the elbow position. Hobbit, AK, set against Siren, gets his pick, starts things off for the CT forces. How many times he lost his jewels in the T-side half out towards mid and elbow, and now getting one back of his own. But nothing more than just that first pick. Damage done on 2 others, but Team Spirit are allowed to stay alive.
Enters, keeping his eyes locked on just one of those small gaps. Patsi trying to do the same. Trying to see if they can find an exploitation towards Cave, but instead it's actually the back foot approach. It's quite deep and passive on B. And with Spirit losing that first player as Siren, you wonder, is the response some aggression towards B?
Minute on the clock. On towards ramp is the decent idea, but it should have been on towards Cave. That's where the T's really are at. Smokes in from the CT side will suppress vision on both ends. So Shiro's forced to back off, and Nafany's going to wait for the hit.
This counter utility is just excellent coming through from Cloud9. They've got 4 on B, and for Spirit, they've just got a brute force. As soon as these smokes cleared, they've got no other option. They have to go.
Counter flash in. Nafany's going to get caught blinded by it. Sprays through. He's going to make his way forward. He might just find the lineup, but they're too quick on the trigger. On 4-on-4 being gained by Spirit. Cloud9 have a backstab inbound, but Patsy's found Shiro to the advantage here. Boost up, looking for Wonderful. Doesn't see anything on either side, it seems. Bomb can go down safely. It'll be a retake. Chopper now has been detected and now falls alongside the kill from Axile in the back. Down to 2 for the Spirit side.
Magix needs this fight. Absolutely needs this duel to come through from the B stairs. He's got to be able to try and help out Patsi.
Hobbit gets the kill though, Magix alone. Axile caught looking the wrong way. That's a pick. Diffuse being stuck. Magix going to try hunt for the player in the back. The spray is good, but they just know to hold it together. Hobbit will get the kill after the fact. That's 5 in a row. Cloud9 are all the way back.
And here's something to kind of keep an eye out for. CT round win percentage in this entire year for Cloud9 is 75.3. The last 3 months, care that be a smaller sample size of only 3 maps, is 90%. The last few matches that we've seen Cloud9 play, they don't drop many T rounds. 1 or 2 in entire games.
Orpin with Shiro. I thought he was going to get that shot on Chopper for a second. Spirit counting their lucky stars, didn't connect that. Patsi also in mid, hunting for CT aggression. Wallbangs attempted towards his general angle, none of which really connect. Minimal damage done as they set up for the main hit.
It's all about the early positional advantage. Get that bomb down, try and fight for some information. Without anyone down there on A directly, this could be a heavy retake setup for Cloud9.
Very aggressive. Hobbit stands in the fire and does get killed off, but finds Siren on the way out of the round. 4-on-4. They're all inbound from main and all. Flashing for Nafany. Going to look in, and they vacate the A site in its entirety. The CTs will start to discover this as well, as they're going to slow this round down again.
I don't know about this. If I'm going to be honest for Spirit, I felt like he had to go there because now Chopper's low, you've got 1 molly, and that's it. Cloud9 are now starting to make the info play. They're clearing out mid. Spirit are going to hope that Cloud9 buckle themselves, but this is a super tough round to win.
They're slowly rotating from mid, though. They might think it was all just a fake and that the B site is the real target. Or they're about to be in for a rude awakening, aren't they? Magix sees 3, lines up a kill and a double. Wonderful gets the trade on Axel, and suddenly Shiro is alone to clutch it. A 1-on-3 again for the man. Reduces Wonderful. Patsi and Chopper are on the A site.
Magic's doing so much there to make that winnable, but the T's are getting aggressive. Look at this.
This could be magic for Shiro. Not to be. Patsi, headshot gained, and Spirit defend the lead, but only just.
Interesting call. Very wild there for Spirit, and it comes down to catching the timing. You could see Shiro was holding elbow. He had his AWP locked in, but he moves away, and that's where Magic swings out. He gets a couple. Wonderful gets a 1-for-1 trade, and a lot of impact gets found with players dropping in mid. And look at what that's done to the economy when you consider the fact how successful Cloud9 have been in this second half.
Even so, they come with massive expense in these rounds. CT is reduced to just SMGs, and AWP and M4 is at least in play for a couple players. Main is also pretty good. The utility damage, you mentioned that during the early portions of this half. 5-7's trying to make risky plays. Axel trying to draw their attention in towards the window control. Magix falls back ahead of the smokes in at the door. Axel gets the kill on Chopper.
That's the start. That's what they're looking for, to try and see if they can press themselves on the front with the limited buy. But A's being taken up. I don't think Cloud9 mind that at all. You've still got a man advantage, you've got util, and you've got a kit for Hobbit.
Make sure he doesn't fall early, though. Patsi finds Shiro in the interim, so the man advantage has been negated by the Spirit side, and Siren can hold CT spawn, knowing he can cut rotations. Will Nafany be ready for this? No, he won't. That's an advantage now for Spirit. A second player to feed himself to the AK. Siren gets caught off guard. 3-on-3.
Smoke goes down towards this donut entrance. What does Axel do? Spam through, try and play behind it. Play passive. The AWP hits a cracker.
At the crack angle. Heard the tags on Axel. Backstab also inbound from Hobbit. Seen by Magix now. Advantage still sits with Spirit. The information with them as well. Repositions back at donut. Smoke's in against him. Axel needs to transfer, get 2 kills, only 1 to his name. The AWP is caught out in the open. He needs support from his teammate. Axel gets the double though, and Patsi reduces it to a 1-on-1. 4K for the winner in the next duel, and it goes the way of the T side.
Patsi coming through when it matters most. We know that he's a hybrid player. We know that he's capable with the AWP in his hands. But in that round, in that situation, pressure must be massive. And he comes through. Allows a couple of rounds to continue to go the way of Spirit. Mate, this has been cracking the nerves here in the second half. This has been so touch and go.
Five-round streak ended. Spirit setting up one of their own. Eco round for Cloud9. And at least the gap at the turn of the half would be reduced, but it could have been so much better for CT Forces when they rely on this half so much to get the win here on Ancient. Wonderful. Siren picks up against the Pistols. 3 players back in towards Cave, and they all get mowed down. It's a quadra for Siren. And now 3 to the win for Spirit.
And we've got to consider the fact that there is a very good potential right here for Spirit that they get the upset. That they send this over the finish line. They end the winning streak of 9 Ancients in a row here for Cloud9, dating all the way back to the 25th of March. That is unreal to think how much success has continued to reign through. Map picks, map 3 deciders, and now for Spirit, even bringing that Mac 10 forward for another round.
And this has been something. Cloud9's undefeated streak to come to an end right here, and now it feels like nafany ready and waiting for them. Swing up, spray through against 2, perfect against Chopper as well. And we're not dead yet, it seems. Cloud9 not ready to concede to Spirit just yet. Patsi and Wonderful knowing they're probably locked out of this one. I think the best call is a save.
And when you consider the idea that there's no smoke, there's no molly to go down to that long control, no one clears it. No one looks out to the right-hand side, and it's just a mow down. That's an easy triple to come through for nafany, just feeding him at that cost. And Spirit, they knew that that was the round. That was the kill to 14-10, forced into an eco, 15-10 right. Mission's pretty much done. Instead, Cloud9 are digging deep, and Patsi and Wonderful are just begging that they can hold on to these weapons.
There will be no hunt from Cloud9, so they should be able to do that much at least. But AK's littered about the B site. 2 of which have already been picked up. 3rd one should stay in play here for the CTs. There's no money, so there won't be any late attempt to go and hunt these players down. Just can't afford it at this stage for Cloud9. Build up the money basis. Go towards the next. Receive the buy from Spirit, reset them, equalize again, and then try and take over from there. That is the game plan.
And it's funny, actually, for Spirit that earlier on in the year to about May time, they actually had a 9-game winning streak of Ancient, exactly the same as what Cloud9 have now. And it comes to that foundation. Ancient is the 2nd highest picked map in the pool from Spirit in best of 3s. For Cloud9, it's the #1. And it's knowing that both teams love this map. Send it to a 3rd to make it crunch time. And when we have the idea of both teams winning each other's map picks in one-sided fashions, the fact that it's competitive, that it's down to the wire like this on Ancient is how it should be.
4th and final tactical called in by Spirit. They had. The question was when it was going to get used. This right here might be the best moment to do so. Cloud9 have come out with a belter around nafany, especially that triple. Wonderful placement. 2 to the good. Cloud9, there's still a chance available to equalize here. Money's not great for Spirit. They'll buy down as you would expect. All 5 rifles saved from Cloud9. The money will build up. They go forward into round 25.
Spirit trying to see if they can land themselves the opener. Got the AWP out for Wonderful, a regroup outside of A. You've got Axel getting quite aggressive towards A main with the anti-rush util. Wonderful's already down to less than 40.
Oh, nearly fragged out by that exchange. Spirit. Being very careful about this. Patsi is just watching. The boost initially look towards window, seeing nothing of the CT side. They're not that aggressive here, Cloud9.
And to go back to history, knowing that Cloud9 had to come back from 3-11 down against 1 win on that second map of Overpass, you know what they're like in comebacking positions, to drive forward. And you're right about the nice. That HE placement again, something that they've been so proficient with in this second half is the lobbing nades.
I'd love to see the stat of utility damage across the entire team in this second half for Cloud9. Guarantee it's going to be a high number. Patsi and Wonderful have suffered towards it. 55 and 39 HP for those players, respectively. Now they're going to form up for the hit. All 5 towards B site. It's the execution inbound.
Spam already down onto Inters. He's down to 64. You can see the reposition. nafany's going to smoke off ramp. Spirit have to go.
Mentioned the counter utility earlier. Swing ahead of the flashbang, and they get blinded. So many to gain. He only focuses on the one player ahead of the smoke. Didn't continue it against Wonderful or Chopper, and it's enough to drive them back here on Spirit. The bomb's making its way away. Is this a save call here from Spirit? 100%. It must be.
And they know they're done. They went for the counteraction quick into B. Patsi's around the corner trying to get a pick, and now they're trying to go in for it again. What is this?
Hobbit detected, spray through against the carrier. That's enough. That's more than enough from him. He waited until the right moment, and Cloud9 might even get Chopper after time. Yes, he falls. That's huge to the economy of Spirit. Cloud9 back within 1.
Come on, what is that? That's massive hesitation there for Spirit. You had the bomb going out towards the B doors, already going to T-spawn. You've got to make that decision. Anytime you have hesitation in a late round, it gets messy. It gets out of control. And for Spirit, they had to make the choice of either going or saving. They get caught in 2 minds there.
Miscommunication, and now Cloud9 up against pistols. A hero AK from Wonderful. We had a pretty decent amount of cash available, so we can afford to do this. Still within the half-by parameters. But naded again. First start for Cloud9. nafany's going to wait for him. Smokes inbound. Block off cave. Flashbang in against nafany's position. Spray comes up better for him as he wins that opening duel. Hobbit with the backstab as well. This should converge in on Spirit.
And he's going to hear all these footsteps, know exactly what's going on. Magix does catch him for a moment. Do they offer up a counter rotation?
They've offered up a rifle here for Spirit. M4 and AK to play with. They'll pass that off to Siren with the Kevlar. And it looks like they will go for the counter rotate. They've only got Axon on the safe side here for Cloud9.
It's all about what Chopper can find with information now. He's just down with a Glock. He was the one that chucked over that AK to Wonderful. So he knows I'm not losing anything if I go down. So I might as well be the bait. I might as well try and find out as much information as I can.
Spirit biting for the mid control. Cloud9 have Axar posted up towards Donut to watch for it. No one directly in mid itself. Patsy's the leader with the flashbang. The only piece of utility that they've got here. Smokes in towards main. Chopper's dealt with by Inters. Will that pull rotates? It looks like it might just do. You see nafany backing up there from Temple. Axile. Both rifles against him. Siren jumps. Magix gets the kill for it. Both players are tagged. And nafany needs back up desperately. There's a backstab also inbound from Patsi. In from that mid control. Back up, making their way in. Flash forward in that corner. Molotov to send nafany back in towards Temple. Inters checks the corner. Patsi goes down. Advantage for Cloud9 as the bomb gets planted here.
And now they've got to try and protect themselves. No smoke for Cloud9 means that they can't draw them out into the open. And Siren's getting another backstab. This is risky. It's going to take a lot of time to get set up.
And they're in the bomb site. No one's watching for the backstab, though, for Cloud9. Magix might have a bit of work to do. They're stalling it. It's taken a while here. Cloud9 now receives Siren, who engages nafany, brings it to 2-on-2. They've got to get on it with the kit. Inters on the defuse. Shiro body blocking it. Turned in by that donut player. Siren lines it up. And it looks like the defuse holds itself together. Inters getting Magix and keeping us 13 even.
Spirit realizing that they had to peak, had to get more aggressive. Now, when you consider the fact of what they had, I think they can be happy with it. But at the end of the day, when you're down at this sort of scoreline, you need the steal. And when the opportunity presents itself, it's got to be there for the taking, not to be. Cloud9 sticking the defuse and tying it up 13-13.
Cloud9 fought back from the worst position. 16-8 on their own map pick to Spirit. Fought back hard on Dust 2, and here they are on another comeback on Ancient. Inters tagged early in this exchange. The nade damage now working better for Spirit this time around. It's all in the default.
Hobbit with the HE placement down towards elbow, onto Patsi down to 52. Magic's to go even lower to 68 when it comes to the lane control. And it's just the HEs once again doing so much damage.
Lacking in the info and the man advantage of Cloud9 though. Still not a done deal with Chopper. Nearly finding Inters with that wallbang. Escape the ire of the T side. nafany smoke up in towards K, about to receive contact. Magic's blind behind it, will not press forward yet.
Mate, look at this rotate. They've got 3 on B, and there could be a 4th player over a Hobbit so quickly. Shiro's now going to have the dual crossfire being set towards Cave. They know exactly what's going on.
Seeing the utility down, but Magix has actually found that wallbang. They've tried it like 2 or 3 times, and finally, something good comes of it. Advantage sits with Spirit here, and the second 2 CTs from the back lines will now rotate to position. Hobbit boosted for Inter's position. Chopper making his way in the jump phase for the bomb carrier. It's all a bait to bait in that. nafany has seen one. They think the cave might be clear. Magix has been checked. Swing out, need that kill, need the double up. Siren puts him down. Axile and Inter's 2-on-4 situation. Inter's backing up. Siren gives up the ghost on one decent frag back, but the Orb of Wonderful gets Axel. Inter's 5 HP. He's got a save.
Excellent shot coming through there from Wonderful. And it came down to a position where Inter's had to keep fighting. There couldn't be much of an opportunity of him just saving because he's out there in the open. You take that jewel, you try and recover, but then because you get a kill, you think to yourself, okay, this is workable. 2v3, let's try it. Let's have our hand at it. Spirit. It started with that spam. That's such a big kill. When you consider the idea that there's already 3 on B and Hobbit to be a quick rotate, you're thinking Shiro's going to get 1. Fall back to safety. It can even get landed to ramp. He's gone. He's just spammed.
Cloud9 just can't get this lead over Spirit. Damage done to that wallbang. To think what could have happened had they failed there for the T side. Cloud9 could be the ones in control. Now they're the ones in the force buy, in the recess. AWP M4 for Mars and P250. That is the buy for Cloud9.
And now you start thinking of what Spirit do. Walk contact or Xe into A. There's one player, and it's Shiro. We know how consistent he's been towards the back of this temple angle.
Hobbit's looking for information, pushed up so aggressive towards this elbow position. He might be setting up a backstab. No, comes in for the rotations. The flashbang is so good for Wonderful. Kills off Shiro. That's the AWP down already. CTs have rotated quick for the post plant, but it might have to be a retake for them.
I don't mind an instant save, or hang on. They've actually spammed right through. Patsi falls. They've now got to get back to the bomb to get it planted, and this lurk for Magix could be big.
Oh, but Inters flashes off his teammate as much as he flashes off the T-side. Siren gets the kill for it. The bomb has been stalled. 4-on-3. Spirit know that they don't have direct access to the site, but they have taken 2 crucial weapons away, an M4 and an AWP, unrecoverable by Hobbit and Axile. Molotov sent in. That smoke produces a bit of a gap there for the CTs to work with. Inters is forced away.
Look at the way Spirit slow this down. Play with the time. They've still got a molly to work with, and Wonderful could be on for 2.
There it is. Axile locked out. Inters naded even further away. 24 HP. Hobbit's got a P250, and now Inter's been flanked. Last man standing with a pistol against 4. There's no way, absolutely no way Hobbit wins this. Tries to fight onto Siren, does get that kill. That's something gained. The AWP watching it though, and Wonderful puts him in his place. It's map match and Legends place here for Spirit. 1 more round to go.
That is an unreal round coming through from Wonderful, because it's not only just a triple, it's not only the round that gets into 15, but look at that first kill. It's an AWP v AWP in a round where Cloud9 do not have money. They are limited. They are down to the weakened weapons, FAMASas, pistols, and it's the AWP to be the first one to fall. The youngster, the 17-year-old, stepping up on his RMR debut with a cracking round. One of the best rounds we've seen from him in this entire best of 3. And you know what, Jay? That might be the round that changes everything. That one round that catapults him to Legends.
Cloud9 with another broken buy, much more broken than the previous one. This time there are no M4s, no AWP, SMGs, 5.7 CZ. But 2 to make up to overtime. Spirit, no. They are in the driver's seat. They are on the cusp of legends. But still making mistakes on utility. That Molotov missing out from elbow. Can't gain the full control that they want to. Hobbit's allowed to move forward.
CTs are quite aggressive on this one. Wonderful round the corner. Does get flashed off. Intus tries to peer through. And you've got to imagine here for Spirit, the slower they run this round, the more that they run the clock, the better chance they have. Because they're just going to draw more mistakes and more util.
Flash is in against Wonderful, trying to keep him at bay. Decent damage done to Chopper. That's Nafany with the open, and Magic's quick to respond. Make sure it doesn't go further than a 4-on-4.
Magic's already getting more kills on Ancient than he did on map 1 and on map 2. What a difference maker he has been here on Ancient. And to close it down, smokes go in to that B side. There's only one defender. Shiro's still in cave.
Magic's going in for the other AK to get rid of it. Make sure the CTs don't get their hands on that. That's smart. See Intus hunting around, but he can't grab it. Spirit will let nothing go to Cloud9. 45 seconds. Gonna make their move.
There's no more util. Nothing for Cloud9. This is going to be such a difficult site hold. At least they're pulling a gamble. They've got 3 on B. This seems to be the right read for C9.
All down to the firefights and the engagements. The firepower of Cloud9 limited on this setup. All down to the talent of the player. Shiro close against Patsi, turns away from. At least they've got cave control on the split, can't come through. Siren checks the back of the site to CZ first from Hobbit. Into swings, gets the kill against the first. Magic pressured in the corner. Shiro swings the SMG, doesn't get anything, neither does Hobbit. It's Axile alone, a 1-on-3 impossible clutch to save Cloud9 in this matchup. Spirit are bound for the Legends stage. It's only a matter of time before Axile is put in his place. He'll look to swing towards Magic's, the AK set and ready. Not sure where he is now. He does. He'll turn in. 2 taps are all you need. It's 16-13 and a 2-1 as Spirit claim legend slots at IEM Rio.
Chopper loves it, and for good reason too. They took on 1 win in that opening best of 3, lost to Sprout, recovered themselves on Gamer Legion in that 3rd round of Swiss, and then the 2-0 against B&E to get them into the major. But now in a CIS derby, a 2-1, that's a huge result up against Cloud9 when you're not even the favourites.
When you went down